So, the feast day of St. Blaise, bishop and martyr, early church martyr. St. Blaise, this healing miracle that was worked through him, that's been attributed to him, is that there was a young man who was choking on a fishbone. Funny start of the story here. So he's choking on a fishbone. St. Blaise comes over to him, prays over him, heals him. If you notice in the list of miracles and signs that Jesus speaks about right before the ascension, there is no mention of fish bones, right? And yet, this is exactly what St. Blaise did. So he prayed over him, healed him, and he recovered. I was thinking about growing up. So both my parents were both in the medical field. And my mom was utterly addicted to every TV show that had to do with emergency rooms, whether it was the drama ER, or I think she just liked some of the doctors on the show. I don't know, but she loved ER. She loved the actual ER show that was like, live in the surgery rooms and all those. It was very difficult coming home from school. You're like 10 years old, and like you walk into the family room and there's like a body being cut open. You're like, Mom, what are you doing, right? Anyway, so I grew up watching a lot of these ER shows, and my first year of college, when I was at the University of Dayton, I also really got into the show ER. And there's always, like, within the drama of the show, there's always, they've got all sorts of things going on in the scene. You've got someone who's got, like, there's a burn victim, there's a gunshot victim, there's a lady who's in labor, and then there's, like, somebody with, like, a hangnail, right? And invariably, the person with, like, the least serious thing is the person who's always pushing their way to the front of the line, trying to make this big commotion. And you as the audience, you're looking at this guy going, you are like such a selfish jerk, right? Can't you see that there's like bones popping out of bodies? This guy's got a gunshot wound, and you're like, this really hurts right here, right? Anyway, triage. The ER doctors, they have to triage the cases. What's the most pressing? What's the most important? What's Jesus' ER like? Jesus is running an ER. What is his ER like? His emergency room. I think implicitly, I think we think that Jesus runs his emergency room, or he responds to human suffering and pain just like a traditional emergency room. That he triages human pain like that. Like, certainly he has to be concerned with like much bigger things. Like, he has to be more concerned about my neighbor Sally, who's got some serious cancer. Like, he's got to be more concerned about this family who's going through whatever they're going through. Like our stuff is, it's tough, but it's not like what they got. That's just not the Lord's heart. I've always found it amazing reading the Gospels, the things to which Jesus responds to. Like, there's never a point where he looks at someone suffering and says, like, just get over that. Or like, really? Like, you'll be fine. Just take an aspirin, right? Like, that's not what he says. Like, the scene that always comes to my mind is he had just been driving out demons. He healed the paralytic, and then he comes into Simon's mother-in-law's house where she's lying sick with a fever. And he is told the news about her fever. He approaches her, grasps her by the hand, raises her up. So you've got corpses being brought back to life and fevers being rebuked. And at no point in between either of those does Jesus say, like, well, that's enough for me to deal with. That's enough for me to deal with. Listen to this. This is St. John Paul II. This is his document, Salvifici Doloris. In his messianic activity in the midst of Israel, Christ drew increasingly closer to the world of human suffering. He went about doing good, and his actions concerned primarily those who were suffering and seeking help. He healed the sick, consoled the afflicted, fed the hungry, freed people from deafness, from blindness, from leprosy, from the devil, and from various physical disabilities. 3 times he restored the dead to life. He was sensitive to every human suffering, whether of the body or the soul. He is sensitive to every human suffering. He is sensitive to every ounce of your suffering. You and I, we do the triaging all the time. Like we say, this doesn't really matter. I'll get over this. This is fine. Do not do the triaging for him. Do not do that. Nor, also, don't do the comparison thing. Like, your broken hand is not going to be healed by looking at your neighbor's broken leg. That's not how Jesus looks at suffering. Let it all come out. Let it all come out. Don't worry about the emergency room line approaching Jesus. A line is no big deal for a God who is infinite. He can handle all of it. Let it all come out. Amen.